Welcome to Nasdaq TradeTalks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. We're coming to you live from the Singapore FinTech Festival, and joining me for this segment, we have Sandeep Malhotra. He's Executive Vice President of Products and Innovation of APAC at Mastercard. We're here to discuss a secular shift from cash to digital payments. Sandeep, it is great to see you as always. Welcome back to TradeTalks.
Thank you for having me.
You got it. In APAC, it's ripe to really drive large-scale cash displacement. What innovations will have the greatest impact on driving that secular shift towards digital?
Yeah, so look, what we've done so far is we've doubled our acceptance footprint since 2016 and become ubiquitous where cards can be accepted. We have driven contactless to enormous scale. 8 out of 10 transactions which are in person in Asia are now happening tap and go, which is just incredible. And then we've created these low-cost acceptance devices, like you can tap on your own phone. It could be an Android phone, it could be an iPhone. And there's this new thing called Soundbox, where you can actually scan a QR. At the same time, you can actually tap your card. And then it announces when the purchase is complete. So we've taken this whole phenomena of speed, and then security and the simpleness which the contactless has brought and embedded it in the consumer memory, and we want to reinvent the whole online checkout arena. Online checkout today is broken, right? There's OTPs out there are passwords out there, OTPs can be hacked, they could be shared, they may not be delivered. So what we're trying to introduce is we are trying to combine 3 elements and reinvent digital checkout. And first is around tokenization. We are saying tokenization everywhere. Whether it's device checkout, whether it's guest checkout, whether you're doing an card on file, which you come back to the site every time, we want to tokenize everything. The second is around streamlining the checkout, so that you don't need to bring your card to enter your card number and CVC, expiration, billing address, shipping address. We want to store it in one place in the network, tokenize it, use it across the merchant when you come back to that site in a much more seamless fashion, but at an industry level, and that we call it a click-to-pay phenomenon. And the third thing is we want to take the power of biometric authentication, manifested in form of payment passkeys. So this is something new which we've launched yesterday in Singapore with LensCard, UOB, DBS, and JustPay, where we are saying you can actually authenticate a transaction just like you would unlock your mobile device. So you don't need to wait for OTP, you don't need to enter a password, you don't need to flip-flop between one app and another. You can just checking out, you can actually do a fingerprint or do a facial recognition and facial scan, and the transaction happens, and it's the most secure transaction.
Yeah,
so
certainly more convenient as well. I want to go back to tokenization for a moment here, because that's really been a transformational technology that we've covered at SFF quite extensively. Why is it such a transformational impact? What problems is it looking to solve?
Yeah, so number one is, tokens are there, they're like an alias. So instead of you using your payment credentials, in the case of card, it's like a 16-digit. If somebody captures it, they can actually replay it, and the bad actors can use it for bad purposes. What we are saying is token is for a specific purpose. It can be for specific merchant, it can be for specific purchase. So we are saying tokenize the payment credential. We want to extend it to this thing called payment passkey, which is tokenizing the payment identity, who you are, so we are tokenizing that. And then we want to move to the next level of tokenizing data and digital assets, which could be crypto, it could be account receivable on a blockchain. So the whole phenomena is tokenizing payment credential, tokenizing your identity for authentication, tokenizing data, and tokenizing digital assets. And we call this token economy in our world.
So what does the payment security landscape look like? In other words, I want to get your thoughts in terms of security, but then when will this type of technology be available to us? Is this a few months out, a few years? Are you waiting for regulatory frameworks to come into play?
It's available as of yesterday.
Right.
So you don't have to do anything for that. On the bank side, it's good to go. So if you were supporting mobile-based contactless payments, whether it was Google Pay, Apple Pay, Bank Pay, it is ready to go. That's why yesterday, when we actually launched this thing, all the banks in Singapore were ready to go.
So that's why the user experience will be seamless then, and that's the whole point of it, is that users don't, it doesn't have to be a problem of theirs, in other words.
That's right. And it's very convenient, very easy, something the consumer is used to, because it's just like unlocking your phone or any other mobile device. There's some work to be done on the merchant side, but it's much, much, much smaller. But the benefits are much bigger because the merchants get to see lesser abandoned cards, they will see less failure rate, the delivery, the consumer is very happy because it's secure and
It's more secure.
and
Yeah, well, I think that's what's so interesting about the space. You can tell it's maturing when the conversations start to become not necessarily about use cases, but actual user experience.
That's right.
It feels as if we're in the next phase of this.
that's right.
All right, Sandeep, appreciate the insight as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks, and thanks for joining me from the Singapore FinTech Fest. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.